There are many people who believe that not only is the Tesla Model Y the best electric crossover SUV, but the best electric vehicle period. But is that still the case? And I'll also dispel a myth that just isn't true anymore with Tesla. You can open the Model Y with a key card or by using Bluetooth on your phone, which is a feature I love. Notably, my ID4 can only be opened with the key fob. The app doesn't even let you unlock the doors right now, so that is a key difference. No pun intended. The Model Y currently comes standard with LED headlights. As a note, the Matrix LED headlights are only available currently on the Model Y Performance and not the long-range Model Y. In the back, there are diffused LED tail lamps that look great, especially at night. Also from this angle, you can see that the Model Y has a very wide and very aggressive looking stance, which certainly helps with handling. Tesla has updated all of their models to black trim pieces around the door frames, a nice update in my opinion from the old silver parts, and these look especially great if you go with the optional 20-inch induction wheels. This Model Y is about a month old and the paint looks to be in pretty rough shape already. Lots of clear coat scratches and marks from taking it through a drive-through car wash. Tesla is known to have some pretty weak paint, and you don't want to make that worse by having brushes tear up your exterior. If you own a Model Y or any car that you want to take care of, I linked my not sponsored favorite car cleaner down below, which I use on my Model 3 and currently my ID4, which was recommended to me by a longtime Tesla owner. Just keep it in mind, if you're going to buy a Tesla, you're definitely going to need to wash it by hand or pay someone to do so. For cargo space, you have the front trunk, which I personally never used in my Model 3 that let's say can carry 4 to 6 bags of groceries. In the rear, there's 21 cubic feet behind the seats if they are folded up. That's about 2 more cubic feet than my ID4. There's additional storage space underneath the trunk liner where you can store your charging kit, as well as any other accessories or things like that you want to take with you. So this is really handy. In the Model Y, you have a 60-40 rear seat folding split that's automatic down with the pull of a button, though they have to be manually pushed back into place and are quite heavy. You can equip the Model Y to tow up to 3,500 pounds, but keep in mind towing at max capacity will cut your range by 50 to 70% depending upon weather conditions, speed, size of the object you are towing, so I'd only use it primarily for destinations within 50 to 75 miles of where you can charge. Finally, just a quick note on build quality for those who haven't seen my video on that. In this case, most of the gaps on the exterior of the Model Y align really well, with the exception of the front trunk that shows some bias towards one side. This should be somewhat adjustable by a service center. Now, let's move on to the interior and talk about design and software, which is where I believe Tesla is the market leader and it's not close. I don't want to come off as a fanboy here, but I love the Model Y and Model 3's minimalist interior. It has also gotten so much better since I own my 2020 Model 3. When I review cars, there are 2 public enemies I really do not like. Those are gloss black surfaces and hard touch plastics, which make a cabin feel so cheap. The Model Y used to have a large amount of gloss black for a center console. Since then, Tesla has updated it to include this matte black finish with additional stitching and soft touch vinyl material down both sides. I love it personally. Not only that, the entire upper and lower portions of the dash are soft touch material, with this wood piece extending across the dash. The doors only have hard touch plastic at the very bottom, with everything else being gentle to touch. I've stated this before and I'll say it again, Tesla makes the best seats I have ever sat in. I'm not sure what it is, but it's an amazing combination of plushness and bolstering only where it makes sense. I have back issues stemming from a car accident, and these are the only seats I can sit in for hours on end and not feel some kind of pain. They are truly great, fake leather or not. Of course, there's the panoramic glass roof that Tesla made popular and now everyone copies. It doesn't come with the shade like the ID4, but I never had any issues with that in the past. The steering wheel feels very high quality. It's relatively thick and reminds me a lot of BMW wheels. Like with everything, Tesla keeps it simple with only 2 aluminum scrolly wheels, a great design in my opinion. Front and rear, head, and legroom are excellent in the Model Y, thanks to the panoramic glass roof, as well as the flat floorboard in the back because there's no transmission tunnel like in a traditional gas car. I will say the seats in the back are not quite as impressive as those in the front, but nevertheless, they are still very comfortable and should cause no complaints from your passengers. Now, let's talk about this 15-inch touchscreen, which controls nearly everything in the Model Y. I'm not going to go through all of Tesla's software, that deserves its own video, and it would make this one way too long. I just want to say this, between how incredibly snappy the user interface is, especially compared to other cars, how integrated Tesla is in terms of charger locations and being able to route you to a destination with all of your stops automatically included, and with very helpful features like Sentry Mode, Tesla has, hands down, not close, no competition in the best software in the automotive industry. Are there bugs? Absolutely. Do they need to fix some of the things they changed with the latest redesign? Definitely. But at least Tesla updates their cars on a regular basis. For example, it's been 9 months since I bought my ID4, and it hasn't updated a single time in this period. I'll do another video comparing what it's like to go on a road trip with a Tesla and a non-Tesla EV, and just how much difference there is in the software, and how much difference that actually makes. This, quite honestly, is where I'd say the other EVs can be fun to drive and offer great features or even better build quality, but they are still so far behind. Until they start putting AMD Ryzen type chips in, they aren't playing to win. By the way, this Model Y came with the Intel Atom, and while apps like the internet browser are really slow, nothing else is. Some don't like the fact that Android Auto and Apple CarPlay aren't available in a Tesla, but my personal preference is the Tesla operating system. The only two things I would want Tesla to change about the interior is to offer ventilated seats, which are common in $60,000 cars, and to consider a heads-up display or a second screen, which they will never do. You get used to it after a while, but it would be my preference. Now let's talk about driving the Model Y. I already made a video on driving impressions of the Model Y, so I'm not going to rehash all of it here, but I would encourage you to check that out. Instead, I'll do a quick summary. And the summary is, the Model Y is incredibly fun to drive, it feels very fast, it's sporty, it feels like you're driving a hot hatch, and the trade-off there is that the suspension is very tight, which some people may not like, as you feel a lot more of the road and more of the bumps that you go over. Whereas, let's say in the ID4, it's a little more cushy and plush. The trade-off there is that you get more body roll in the ID4. In the Model Y, it feels much tighter and lower to the ground and handles better. So you decide which trade-off that you want to go with. Personally, I like both for different situations. I wouldn't say no to a Model Y, of course, because of the suspension, but that's up to you. And here's a little cliche video of me accelerating for you to check out. That feels... And I didn't push it all the way down, and that feels pretty dang amazing. No lie about that. Other than that, visibility is good in the Model Y. I just want to note that the side view mirrors are pretty small for a car of this size. Just to show you an example, here's the measurement I took of the Model Y, and here's a measurement I took of my ID4 side view mirrors, and you can see that the ID4 mirrors are probably 30% or so larger, and that does make a difference for visibility. Now the thing I really want to talk about here is cabin noise inside the Model Y. Now Tesla has tried to address wind noise and road noise in the cabin. They've done this through things like adding dual pane windows and of course adding different fillers and things inside of the car where you can't see to help block out some of that noise. But I wanted to test just how much progress Tesla has made in this area. So I took the Tesla Model Y out for a spin, and I want to show you a decibel reading from that drive compared to the same route in a brand new 2022 Audi e-tron. And I think you're going to be surprised at the results. I did my best to get these two videos to line up as much as possible. The Model Y is at least as quiet, if not quieter, than the Audi e-tron at all speeds roughly above 45 miles per hour. And I can tell you, driving both cars back to back, the Model Y did sound slightly quieter than the e-tron. Of course, the Audi e-tron is a full-size SUV, so it should be a bit louder at highway speeds. But nevertheless, I don't think that cabin noise is going to be a con when it comes to Tesla vehicles moving forward. Tesla has clearly done a ton to improve the amount of noise you hear in the cabin, and I think they did a really great job. Next up, I'd like to talk about autopilot briefly. Tesla is famous or infamous for its full self-driving or autopilot software. The newer Model Ys and Model 3s no longer have radar included with them. I took the Model Y out for a quick spin on the highway with autopilot and didn't have any issues. I will say though, when I had my Model 3, there were definitely some issues with phantom braking on the highway, but it was always in the same spots and for no particular reason. Now, of course, I haven't had a chance to get into the FSD beta program, and that's definitely on a different level. But in terms of basic day-to-day use, the autopilot system is good, but just know you need to keep your eyes on the road and your hands on the wheel at all times because there are still some lingering issues. Of course, all new Teslas come with one-pedal driving capability with auto hold mode, which really makes driving so much more pleasurable because you don't have to sit there at a stoplight with your foot on the brake or anything like that. Instead, you just release the accelerator and the car comes all the way to a complete stop for you. In my opinion, this is a must-have feature for every new electric vehicle coming out. Of course, you can't talk about Tesla without including their incredible supercharging network, especially here in the United States. There's nothing else that's quite like it. The Model Y itself supercharges up to a peak power of 250 kilowatts. What that means to you, the consumer, is you can get roughly 160 miles of range in about 15 minutes, is what Tesla claims. And I just want to note that Tesla is constantly expanding their supercharger network. In just the last 6 months or so alone, I think 4 or 5 new supercharging stations have been added near my area. Right now, again, nothing can compete with this, and it's definitely a consideration if you take road trips or anything like that. Some of my favorite features of the Model Y are the large backup camera with a decent resolution that also utilizes the side repeaters for more visibility, the HEPA filtration system, heated front and rear seats, and an amazing audio system that sounds absolutely fantastic. I'll do another video on Tesla software, but for today, I'd like to say that the Model Y is a great car that's so fun to drive, has lots of range, charges quickly, is now more premium, and even quieter on the road. It's certainly going to be a consideration for my second EV.